You know that feeling, right? That little voice in your head that's always whispering, yeah, but what if it all goes wrong? Well, today we're going to get into the psychology of why some of us always seem to expect the worst. And spoiler alert, it's not what you think.
Does this look familiar? Always waiting for the other shoe to drop, mentally preparing for bad news, even when things are going great? It is absolutely exhausting. But for a lot of people, it's just normal.
So let's talk about it. Let's get into what we usually just call the worrying mind.
For ever, the label for this has been pretty simple, right? Oh, you're just a pessimist or a catastrophizer, someone who just sees the glass as half empty. It gets dismissed as a character flaw, something you're just supposed to, get over.
But hold on. What if that's not the real story? What if this habit of expecting the worst isn't the flaw at all, but actually a highly sophisticated strategy your brain is using? Now that's an interesting idea.
So yeah, let's peel back that simple label. It's time to look at this as something much, much deeper than just pessimism.
Okay, so this is the big shift. On one hand, you've got the common view. It's a negative outlook, a flaw, a bad attitude. Simple. But the psychological view, whoa, it flips the whole script. It sees it as a cognitive strategy, a protective mechanism, and get this, a learned response. This is a total game changer in how we understand this.
And it actually has a name. It's called defensive pessimism, and it's a real cognitive strategy where you intentionally lower your expectations. But here's the key. The goal isn't to be miserable. The goal is to be prepared.
And this is so important. It's the core difference. See, a true pessimist might just assume they'll fail and not even try. But someone using defensive pessimism, they think about what could go wrong, and then they work like crazy to make sure it doesn't. They're not stuck in negativity. They're actively problem-solving.
So how in the world does your brain get wired up like this? Well, it helps if you think about your brain for a second as this incredibly powerful prediction engine.
At its core, your brain's #1 job is to keep you safe and alive. And to do that, it has to constantly predict what's coming next. It's always scanning your past, your present, looking for any little clue about what might happen. And the main tool it uses for this is something called pattern recognition. And your brain is an absolute master at it. It sifts through every experience you've ever had, the good, the bad, the ugly, to build a map of the world and guess what's around the next corner. So how does this engine get programmed to expect the worst? Well, it's pretty logical, actually. If you've gone through a lot of stressful or negative stuff, your brain gets really, really good at spotting those kinds of patterns. It learns that, hey, when A and B happen, C usually goes wrong. So it starts predicting that bad outcome to get you ready with a defensive response. And that response, that's what we feel as worry or anxiety.
Okay, I know this sounds kind of stressful, but believe it or not, this whole process is actually a pretty brilliant, if intense, strategy for safety. I want you to just read that and let it sink in for a second. You're not being negative, your brain is being hyper-aware. That is such a powerful reframing of this whole experience. It's not a bug, it's a feature designed for one thing: survival.
And when you look at it through that lens, you start to see the hidden strengths. Your brain is basically choosing safety over blind optimism. And by thinking through the worst-case scenarios, you're actually taking the scary unknown what-ifs and making a plan for them. That process builds resilience. And maybe the best part? It gives you a sense of control. You're not just waiting for life to happen to you, you're getting ready for it.
This is maybe the best way to put it. This whole mental process takes that paralyzing question, what if this awful thing happens, and it transforms it into a powerful, proactive one. Okay, so if that happens, what's next? It's a huge shift from fear to action.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. That tendency to expect the worst. Is it really a bug in your programming? Or is it a highly evolved feature, custom designed by your own life experiences to keep you safe? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.